I am Professor William Lenihan, and I'm teaching summer courses at Accademia Europea di Firenze here for over 10 years. My host school in America is Washington University in St. Louis in the Department of Music, where I am Director of Jazz Studies. And I also teach some composition and some other related courses, not just jazz. And the courses I've been teaching this summer, one is titled Jazz Improvisation, and the other is called The Art of Popular Song. So the Jazz Improvisation course is a music theory and application of music theory and musical culture and musical practice to students who are largely fairly new to the music. And the other course is a study of American popular song and popular song in general. In fact, we go so far to look at Renaissance songs, including songs from Italy, all throughout Europe, and how the songs of England, Scotland, and Ireland come to America to create American folk song and eventually American popular song through the whole multicultural experience, including blues and rhythm and blues and popular music in general. So the course descriptions are rather involved, but they're basically courses in how to do something. They're practical courses more than they are academic courses per se. They're not historical courses, but of course history comes into play. The expected learning outcomes from these courses are that students are able to do the things that we analyze and we teach. So students are expected to be able to write a song in a given style, historical style or their own personal style at the end. The courses are, in this case, only 4 weeks long, but they're 2 hours per day. So the contact hours are the equivalent of a 14-week course in 4 weeks. So they're pretty intensive, and the students have long practice periods and discussions with how we do what we do. Same with jazz improvisation. In 4 short weeks, the students who started out with not playing jazz at all were able to play a couple of tunes and improvise and play, correctly, if you will. So it's really quite an experience for students. It's interesting for me to see students work through this material. As far as we doing these things, particularly because these are Americanist topics, jazz improvisation, the art of popular song, which is mostly American popular song, doing it in Florence, I think the impact of the creative process and, for me, the teaching experience, and I think the learning experience for these endeavors, learning to do music, compose music, improvise music, the experience of doing it in Florence, one is that these are American students and many of them have never been to Europe. And in America now, for some time, strangely, most students don't study Western civilization. Students that I just talked about this today, and this bothers me. So for students to come to Florence, they can see it very superficially as, oh, what a beautiful town, beautiful city, beautiful scenery, beautiful statues, Michelangelo, Dante, and name drop all these people, have no idea the context of the meanings of these things in the larger sense and what gave birth to basic human endeavor. I mean, we can go into it deeply, but students get a sort of an eyeful of a reality, and they learn how and why we do what we do as Americans because of the European, largely European roots, and then the African American roots that are part of our land that are not really part here. And so that they get a good lesson in the why and the where and the when of things. It's very general to say that, but students learn about classical music and about the evolution of tonality and the Greeks and how the measurement of pitch came about to create this scale and the chromatic scale. So I also teach another course called Towards and in Music, and it's basically a metaphysics of music. So it's for students who don't even necessarily know music very well, but these are bright students. So bright students who haven't studied much of the civilization of the musics that they are trying to play. So we go back to the origins of musical thought in that course. It's a very deep course. That's one of the courses taught here also. But the experience of doing it in Florence is that they get to learn that the paintings didn't just come about by themselves, and democracy didn't come about by itself, and capitalism was invented, and that culture is a deeper thing that a consumerist culture engages students with. By that I mean, most of the students know culture as something you get and you consume, you enjoy it. They don't really know how it got built. They don't know that it came from sweat, and it came from somebody somewhere in the world doing something, and before doing this, thought of something. It sounds ridiculous to talk this way, but students really don't quite understand that. This is part of what's happening in the American universities. And in the courses we teach, they do learn about that, I'm very happy to say. So the experience of doing in Florence is to see the roots of so many ways of thinking about things that gives birth to how we do what we do now. It's a sort of long cultural and historical lesson. Even more than it is about music, it's about why and how we do what we do. The AEF community influences and impacts the students' experience in learning and the creative experience of how we teach what we teach. Because there are European teachers and there are American teachers, and there's sometimes different perspectives on why things are the way they are and what the curriculum should be and what students should learn and how they should learn them and how they should learn to appreciate things. So we all come together with this, and it's a multicultural experience of why we do what we do and how we do what we do. At the more sort of clear-minded, or you might say is a simplistic level, students get an exposure to classical music who never had heard classical music before. A concert the students gave yesterday was all Italian, except for one piece of Mozart, all Italian music from Frescobaldi to Puccini, and was all in Italian language. And many of the students from America had no exposure to that kind of music before, so they heard counterpoint for the first time, or they heard Renaissance harmony, or they heard classical period, or they heard opera forms for the first time. And so the aesthetic experience is something that the AF community, and the fact that we're in Florence, I think the aesthetic experience of being here is what makes the biggest difference than teaching the courses in America.